Morning, folks. I have some links down below. Last time I checked, one of the links I've got down below. Last time I checked the fundraiser for Manny SoCal Shave, pretty close to reaching that goal. So the first link down there will be concerning the fundraiser for Manny, and the next one I have right after that. Oh, I should mention, and also the link that I've got down there for Manny's fundraiser is by the way of Chris's video, and he'll have some links down below there that'll link you to how you can contribute, and as well as the what kind of raffles there are available, which are there's quite a few. So just something that if you're interested, you might want to check out. I got another link that I'll put down below is the article from Sharpologist. Some may know him as Manny59, and his name is Mark. Anyhow, he did a write-up on a Merkur shavers. Merkur 40, it's got a barrel handle, and the one he was using had a blue handle, and I've got this one here with a red handle. You can kind of tell the shape is on the cap and head, the base plate there. It looks fairly familiar. And I'm going to start my series on Sundays, unless I get a special razor in, on Merkur's razors. I don't have all of the lineup, of course, but I've got a few that I thought maybe I'd share on the Sundays, my DE shaves, and some people might be interested in seeing those. The blade I've got in there is the Supermax Blue Diamond, and it is double wrapped also, by the way. Soap of the day is I'm using SMG. This one here is an unscented soap. This one here is this is an older soap. I think it was February 2017 when I've got this right there at the beginning of February. My first shave, if I remember correctly. This one here, you could tell over here. This was the third of 30 that was made, and this was John Romanoff's soap that he made in collaboration with Hugo Martinez. Yes, I think they got that straight. And right there in the center, you can see the South Florida Wet Shavers. That's what they're a member of, Shave Group. Anyway, that's the soap I'm using today, and I've already got it whipped up over here in my handy dandy bowl. It's definitely on the wet side. This is the brush I put the knot in. Using glue I've used is E6000. I've been using it when I put knots in my brush handles, and so far I haven't had any issues. This particular brush handle is the one that did not have any weight to it. It was left open in the middle. I did that just so I can get the experience to see how it feels with a brush. I guess I need to show that from the Shaven Sailor. This is a 3D printed brush, and this one here is what is referred to as smooth. There's another one that has twist in the middle and comes in different colors, but red's one of my favorite colors, so yeah, got another red one. But just to get the idea, see how it feels, get my thoughts on it, and I kind of feel like, depending on the knot, on how much it weighs, this one here is a fairly light knot as it goes for weight. Kind of thinking that you'll probably, if you get one from him, which I'll have a link down below, you're probably going to want it filled and add some weight to it. That way, if the knot has a tendency to weigh a little bit, or maybe the loft is pretty high, it makes it a little top heavy, you'll want some weight down in the bottom so it'll want to stand up and not just fall over when it just accidentally gets bumped lightly. Going to top the shave off this morning with an aftershave from Stirling. This one here is Grapefruit with Menthol, and it kind of goes right along with the Menthol Preshave from Maggard's Razors. Got the usual suspects over here this morning. I've got Crown King here, alum block, complete with rubber band, and I still got some witch hazel left from Humphreys Citrus Scented, and I've already put a hot towel to the face this morning and Preshave oil, which seems to be working out pretty good for me. I think I'm going to switch up though here pretty quick, and now that got that, how you see, under my belt. I'll go back to using Preasso, so that way I can use up that container, and then that's how I kind of sort of move on to things like that. And I think the next pre-shave that I might use will be the from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrement, the Cube. And I've got this whipped up. It's pretty wet, and this particular knot is a synthetic knot. Sometimes I think I've seen this referred to as Snow White, as goes for the knot. It is a I did try to, it got little chunks of soap in there. See if I can wipe some of that off there. And sometimes I've seen this knot referred to as Snow White. And it is a very bright white synthetic knot. The tips are relatively soft. It has just a little bit of pokiness to it, but not enough to bother me, but it might somebody else. But relatively soft tips. And it did a pretty good job whipping up this lather, especially the way I prefer it. About like this consistency. And not only that, it seemed to, I guess you might say, hold the water. I got lather all over me. Hold water in between the bristles. Even though I did squeeze quite a bit of it out. We'll go ahead and get started with this. Well, like I said, the article that Mark wrote up, I think if I remember right, it dates back to 2015. So if you're interested in a shaver like this, I do not believe they're in production any longer. And I'm not sure when they went out of production. I can say I don't remember seeing very many shave of the days with this particular kind of handle. It with the grooves the way that it is, it does make it relatively easy to handle. Put your little finger there on the bottom for control. It seems to work out pretty well for me the way that it's shaped. And this this handle is metal. If you're interested in a shaver like this, I did find a website, one, that has the blue handled one. And I went ahead and put the link down below. And it's not a used one, it's a new one. And I'm quite sure they know what they have, judging by the price. So it's going to cost you a little bit if you want one of these. In other words, it's not going to be cheap. Not my opinion. Now, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, new old stock, getting it in the original box and all that sort of thing, as far as I can tell, that's how it's coming. That'll be pretty nice, especially if you're collecting, if you will. But this particular handle, it is pretty nice. It's easy to grip, hang on to. Seems to have a pretty nice balance to it. Mark, when he wrote up his article, had mentioned that he thought that this particular cap and head, this setup, was a little bit milder than the Merkur 34. So there's that, if you're wondering about efficiency and how smooth it is. And probably also it just depends on what kind of blade you're using in it and how it feels. The blade he was using was an Astra SP, so there's that tidbit information. He does include a little bit of information. He had a scale, and weighed it and all that sort of thing. So far, Blue Diamond's working out pretty good. This is one of those shavers, though, that'd be interesting to run a few blades through. In other words, that typical feather, derby, in other words, that wide range of blades to see how well it works with this shaver. Because I'm kind of feeling that this is definitely going to be one of those that's, oh, how can you say, a daily driver. It is pretty smooth. I don't feel anything really excessive about it. And as it goes for the takedown of the whiskers, it does lead towards a third pass, and I mean like a full third pass. In other words, not just pick up pass on the third pass. So if you got sensitive skin, and this shaver here just might work well for you. As it goes for the performance of this soap, I've been using it off and on ever since I got the soap. And well, if you look at the soap that's left in the tub, I've used a little bit of it. So my experience with it has been pretty good. I haven't had any complaints about the lather. As it goes for slickness, which is usually one of my key points, is slickness. To me, it's easy to whip up. It's I don't know how else you say it. To me, it's a good soap. I mean, it works. This particular soap, I like this base. I've got a few other of John's soaps, and the base works well for me. I never had a problem with the base. No, not with any of his scents that I bought. John doesn't make these soaps anymore that I'm aware of. So these soaps are a little bit hard to come by. But it is to give you an idea, though, that there are some unscented, excuse me, some unscented soaps out there that may be, yeah, especially if you get them by the way of a sample, which I did order here recently, one from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, the K6, the CK6 line. I guess you might say the latest lineup of the soap base for Douglas's soap. I ordered an unscented one sample. Give it a try when it comes in, and see how that compares to, I guess you might say, some of the, what I would consider some of the soaps that I usually would use. And for some folks, an unscented soap is what they have to go with because their sensitivity to various things that are used to add to the scent of the soap. Thank goodness I'm not one of those that have to have an unscented soap, because I really am missing my scented soap. But it might be a good way to get a sample of the unscented to make it a little bit easier to focus on the base of the soap as opposed to the scent, because the scent, especially if you're ordering anything from Douglas, in other words, if you like the scent, you know, it's you're gonna like the soap. And I have a good idea, a good feeling that the scent is going to interfere with you thinking about the base of the soap. The scents of his soaps, so they're there, they're present, and they're lasting. So that's the reason why sometimes I wonder an unscented soap, check out the base. That way it's easier to focus on it. In the sample, I can't remember how much it was. It wasn't too terribly expensive. Now, I will say that the CK6 is not inexpensive. You want to go with the previous version. And CK, by the way, is Crown King, if you're kind of wondering, new to his lineup of soaps. And when I first started buying his soap, Douglas and Brand soap, I started out with the Crown King. That's the only thing I know. I don't know anything previous to the Crown King lineup. So maybe I'm a little bit, I guess you might say, deprived, if you will, to have a good idea what the soap line was like before Crown King. But when I first started buying it, that's just the line that I started with, and I just kind of stuck with it. That's what the restrictor looks like. Now, the grapefruit, of course, is definitely in there. Just right off the top, right out of the container, I don't pick up the menthol. And matter of fact, as it goes for the grapefruit of the Preshave, when I first put it on, I do smell the grapefruit, but shortly thereafter, I don't smell it. It probably still is present. It's just my nose just doesn't pick it up. And my nose is not the best, by the way. This does have menthol in it, which is one of those things I like. A nice cooling effect. I don't think I can smell the grapefruit. There's no doubt there. I don't think the menthol in this one here is, how do you say, over the top. It's present but not overpowering. It's just enough to let you there. I can feel the cooling effect right now, but I don't feel like it's, how do you say, glacial. It's nothing quite like that. And this particular container is just 2-ounce container, and I got it on sale. It's no longer available, but I did put a link down below, a list of Stirling soap in the scent descriptions that maybe, that might help you pick out a soap and or aftershave that you like, just going by the list of their scent descriptions. Maybe you didn't even know it was available out there like that, but I've got a link down below for that sort of thing. I had a great shave. Don't forget to check out Chris's video concerning Manny's fundraiser, almost to the goal. Last time I checked, I think within $300, if I remember right. Face is feeling pretty good this morning. This is a cool shaver. I love this handle. Glad I got this. Like I say, it took many tries to finally find one of these. Good luck if you're hunting for one. I don't know how many that website has of the blue one. I'm assuming one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and smooth shaves to you.